Hey guys, it's Mizzy, and I'm a mixed girl in a mixed up world. Welcome to the live show. This is very impromptu. I don't even know if anybody's going to join me, but if not, people can watch me on the replay. So this is going to be a very. Hi, Debbie. How are ya? Hey, Mickey Mouse. How's everyone doing? This is going to be a very quick live, but I had some stuff I wanted to update and announce. And because I want tomorrow's episode, which I'm going to go talk about in a few minutes, I wanted that to be a standalone episode, and I didn't want to combine them. Hello, how's everyone? Did everybody have a good weekend? Did anybody watch the Patriots game? Yeah, so I have some really exciting stuff. There's stuff that some of you might know some of this, and some of you might not know yet. Sorry, I'm a little flustered because I ran down to get water. I was like, do I want to run downstairs? And I was like, oh, yeah, I need water. But yeah, this is going to be a very quick live, about a half hour. I just want to go through some stuff and make sure you guys know about all the updates and some of the exciting announcements that we have coming up. Give me 1 second. Okay. So how is everyone tonight? Let's start there. Did you guys have a good weekend? I had a pretty good weekend. I went down to Boston on Friday. I'll tell you guys about that little adventure in a little bit. First, let me go through some of the, let me just get this. Sorry, I gotta sneeze. Good, Debbie. Good to hear that. Good to hear that. Thank you for being here. Sorry, I feel a sneeze coming on. Okay, screen. Let me just get this up. Give me 1 second, because I gotta open the email first. We have a lot of exciting stuff coming up. I don't know, did anybody here see the tease that we put out over the weekend and what we announced? First, I want to go through what we have coming up in the next few weeks for standouts and that kind of stuff, just to tick through that stuff first. So on the 27th, we have the monthly standout. It'll be at Stoughton Center from noon to 3 p.m. Please, if you can make a sign and bring it. If not, we do have extra signs. We just never know how large of a crowd we're going to get. So if you can bring a sign, that's awesome. And we're so excited to be back there. Summer's over, so it won't be as hot as it has been the last few times we've done standouts there. It's been like way too hot and there's no shade there, but it's such an amazing spot in Stoughton. It's like the best place in Stoughton to do a standout there in Cobb's Corner, which we might do another one in Cobb's Corner. It's like I feel like this is our little home at this spot because they have benches. So, you know, if I have to sit, and I know Barb has to sit, and if anybody else has to sit, and if you're somebody who's never been to one of our standouts, there is two good sized benches. So if you want to come and join us, you know, and you have to sit, you don't have to stand the whole time. I physically can't stand that amount of time. I'm up and down, and so please, if you feel like that you're somebody who thinks that you can't come because you can't stand, you know, for 3 hours, there are places to sit, and people do bring chairs too. So we always make sure we have places for people to sit. Hey Joe, how you doing? Thanks for jumping in. This is going to be a very short one. Turtle Boy is going live at 8. He's going live early, and I'm sure he's going to be talking about Friday night. So I know a lot of people will probably want to jump on and see that if they're fans of his, but I wanted to make sure. Hey Susan, How are you? Yes, we did, and I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. It was great. It was so great to meet you too. Yeah, the umbrellas help, but for some reason that area just gets so hot. And like last time we had some umbrellas, but it just wasn't enough. Um, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good right now. I'm excited the Patriots won. I'm a huge football fan. Oh, let me click out of this for a second. I'm excited the Patriots won. I'm a huge football fan. They looked really good today, although it was back and forth for a little while. But I want to make sure that I get into it. So if you again on Saturday, September 27th, let me come on. Sorry, I'm trying to bring this back up. On the 27th is our nope, that's not the one I want. Sorry, guys. Um, on the 27th is our monthly standout. Please come if you can come join us. We need as many people out there, and people think, oh well, he's Matthew's been arrested. Farwell's off the streets. No, we still have other officers that need to get off the streets and be arrested, and we want everybody who was involved in any of that brought harm to Sandra, any person that brought harm to Sandra, we want them off the streets. These people can't be walking the streets anymore. If they're willing to victimize a young woman and take advantage of her, they shouldn't be out on the streets. So the next thing I want to go over is, sorry, I'm a little frazzled as usual. Is Farwell has a court date coming up, has 2 court dates coming up in October. October 6th is at 2 p.m. We will be down there at 12:30 for a standout at the Moakley Courthouse. And then there was a date change on his court date for the 16th. It is now at 9 a.m. It was at 11. It's now at 9. So we will be there for 8 a.m. And that's going to be fun getting into Boston for 8 a.m. But you know what? It's for a good cause. It's for us to be there and stand up for Sandra, to show her family support. So it's something that we want to make sure that we're there to do, provide support for both Sandra and her family. It's very important to let them know that, we support them. And, I know Barb appreciates all your support. She's not going to be in here tonight. Tonight's her night off. So it's me running the whole show by myself. And I do get to check the page in a couple minutes, just because, like I said, Barb's off. And so we each take a weekend day off to give each other some time away. It's been a much needed, thing that the two of us have needed to do. Well, unfortunately, she can't. She can cover it, but because it won't be on TV. It's a federal case, and federal courts don't allow cameras. So the only way you can see it is if you go down to the courthouse. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much for that. That means a lot. I try. That's all I've wanted to do is make sure to keep Sandra's memory alive and keep this going, so people can learn about her case and learn from it. Yeah. And thank you all of you for being here and all the support you show her and her family. Just spreading her story, telling one other person helps. because the word of mouth helps get the story out there. Yeah, federal courts do not allow cameras in them. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Sometimes with cameras in the courtrooms, it makes things a little crazier, but it also takes away from the public being able to watch it. So it's a good and a bad thing. It's, you know, it's a shield and a sword. I know that I might not be using that the right way, but anyway, so let me move on to the next thing because I got lots of stuff to go over in such a short amount of time. So this is our next thing. I'm gonna pop off the screen for a second. So we have, if you didn't see already, on Friday, there will be a Dateline episode on Sandra's case. This is something that Barb and I have been keeping a secret for a while. We weren't allowed to announce it yet, but we worked with them, and they are covering Sandra's case. They're going to be doing a 1-hour special for this first part. And then once the trial comes around, they'll be filming in and around. And well, obviously they won't be in court, but they will be filming more and doing a 2-hour special on Sandra. The only thing that stinks is the work that the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group and, like, I believe the Case podcast, that stuff did not make it in. This is more about Sandra's family and friends and learning more about Sandra and what happened to her. There will be a digital series that will cover the work that the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group did, and I'm sure they'll put the Case podcast in there. I'm not 100% sure if the Case podcast is or isn't in there. I don't think they are because I just don't think they are. I don't know. I can't speak to that. But we're hoping it's better than Karen's. You know, Barb and I did work with the producer Cassandra, and you know, we're just hoping that they did her justice. We were very clear of what we want, what we saw as a vision for Sandra's story to be out there. And we wanted to make sure this was a way for parents to know what to look for. You know, we want Sandra's legacy not to be just this girl who was murdered and groomed. We want it to be about a girl who was, you know, whoops, sorry, didn't turn my phone off. Give me 1 second. You know, it not just be about a girl who was, you know, violated and groomed and all that. Whoops, I meant to turn my fan on. Sorry, guys. Sorry, it's warm up here. I didn't do my AC before I started. So we want to make sure Sandra's legacy isn't just about a girl who was murdered. We want to make sure that Sandra's legacy is also to teach parents on what grooming is and how to help their children and how to look at the signs and check in with their kids and teach their kids that so this doesn't happen to their children. And that was one of the things that Barb and I said was very important for us if we were going to work with them. So Friday, make sure you check your local listings. I know on the East Coast it'll be on at 9. No, wait a minute. I think 10. 10. I'm sorry. I'll get back to you guys on that. I think it's on at 10, but I'm not 100% sure. Check your local listings. I apologize on that. I know for Barb, it's on at 10, so it might be 9 for regular, because she has to view it online. She doesn't have like a regular TV. She does it on streaming. But make sure, excuse me, I might, after it's over, do a live. If not, I might also we've been starting to pick up even just by the little trailer that was on the their last Friday's video. So I might do a live, my next live, not this week's live stream, but next week's live stream. I might do a Facebook live instead of a YouTube live. Unfortunately, because I'm a free user, I can't do I can't stream in multiple places. But I will let you guys know how I decide to do it. Because there are a lot of people who are going to start coming to learn more about her case. And not everybody's coming here. And we want to make sure we're answering these questions. Yeah, yeah, I think you might be able to stream it on YouTube. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I just know I get it on my you know, channel 10 on my TV, on my Xfinity, but I'm not sure. Just make sure you check your local listings. So let me get to the next thing. I think, hold on, let me make sure. That's the most important thing I wanted to make sure. That's a big reason why I'm doing the live. So people know about this on Friday, because we want to get as much viewership as we can get to ensure that they come back and do the 2-hour. I'm a little worried that if, you know, this doesn't get high ratings and then let's say he takes a deal. I don't know if he's taking a deal, but what if he takes a deal? Is there still going to be interest to do a 2-hour? I know they like to do follow-ups, but you know, we want to get as much ratings as we can and to ensure that there is a 2-hour, because there's so much to Sandra's case and it's a lot to put into an hour episode to do Sandra's case justice, because there's so many moving parts. And there's like, you know, there's almost 3 cases or 4, you know, there's the grooming when she was young. There's, you know, then the sexual abuse when she turned 15, and then the abuse that continued till she was into her adulthood. And then like how there were 3, you know, the 3 officers having sexual relationships with her, and then also her murder. So it's like a bunch of little cases forming a big mega case. So that's a lot of information to put in an hour. So that's why I fully understand why they didn't include the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group or anything like that. Trust me, I was pushing for it. I said, can't you guys even just say there was public outrage and then just show a couple, you know, couple clips of, you know, us holding signs out there, but they felt like there wasn't enough time to put that in, because you figure when it's an hour, it's only like 42 minutes of actual show. So they need to use as much time as they can. And they wanted to put that to have family speak and tell them, you know, so people can get to know Sandra as a person. And I didn't know Sandra as a person. So it's more important. But Barb is in the episode and she does represent the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group. And I'm so glad that Barb is in it. You know, she's been fighting fiercely to keep Sandra's name out there and get her story told. Yeah, but it's not Garino. It's Fanning and Dunn. You know, yes, the emails, texts and emails were on Farwell's phone, but all those texts and emails were on Sandra's computer, and Fanning went through them all. So it's kind of a red herring when that's put out there. Yes, they said that they weren't on his phone, which we know that they can find deleted text messages. But it's like Fanning went through all the text messages. He told me personally there was nothing in the text messages. So, yeah, Debbie, I'm so happy that Barb is in it, you know, which, I mean, Barb should be in it. I mean, you know, she loves her cousin. And like I said, she's been fighting for her. And it's important for people who knew Sandra to be in this. I don't care if I'm in it at all. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, "Oh, I'm not in it. Pity party for a couple minutes, but it's not about me. Who cares if I'm in it? That's me having an ego. That's like, like it wasn't just me. I was just like, oh, the work that our group has done. It's not being showcased. But who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about our group? As long as Sandra's name is getting out there, as long as her audience is being broadened, as long as her legacy is getting out there, who gives a shit if the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group is in it? You know, that's all I care about. That's all I've ever wanted. That's all I wake up in the morning and that's the first thing I do. I look at my phone and check to see what's going on in our group. That's my day to day. So it's not about me. It's about Sandra. And I just want her legacy and I want the men, and if there are any women who are part of her abuse, to get arrested and be charged and put behind bars. What's a huge red flag, Allison? Exactly, Maria. Exactly. And that's what this is all about. You know, it's about making sure that there are no other Sandra Birchmores. And that's all that's why we do this. We want to get justice for her, but we also want to make sure there's no other children that get harmed. So, all right, let me move on to the next thing. Yeah, there are a lot more Sandras out there, and we need to make sure there aren't others. Like, if we can help no other child be harmed like Sandra, we need to make sure you know, we don't allow that to happen. If we can stop it, if we can show a parent, what to do, how not to not see the signs, we have to. Oh yeah. I just want to scroll up and red. Okay, okay. I understand what you're saying now. Yeah, it yes. Garino not finding the text messages that Farwell that were on Farwell's phone. But see, we don't know if he factory reset his phone, which I doubt he did, or if he just deleted like everything all his text messages with Sandra. But that doesn't matter because they were backed up to her computer. I'm not sure if he's been investigated. I have no idea. I assume they're looking into every aspect of this case. I'm sure he's been interviewed. I mean, this was happening under his nose. We know McNamara's been working with them. I'm sure they went and spoke to him because he was their boss before her. So, hello, how are you tonight? Thank you for joining us. Okay, we can loop back to this. I just want to make sure I get this next thing in, because it's very important to me. So, and this has nothing to do with Sandra's case. So, yesterday, so some of you have seen me on other shows, and I've mentioned, oops, give me 1 second, sorry. Give me 1 second because I clicked out of it. Okay. So some of you have seen me on other shows talking about Sandra's case. And when people ask me of how I got into Sandra's case, I always say how I found out about her case when the Stoughton internal report was released. And then I kept looking into her case, but I was only like doing it a little bit. I wasn't like deep diving into her case yet. And then my friend Sarah came to me, which is from the first case I did. And she's the one who really pushed me to do Sandra's case, because she knew that I had already been doing this type of thing for years. And Brandon's case was my first case, her son. So tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing an episode on him. So on September 13th, 2019, Brandon Embry was viciously murdered in his Asheboro, North Carolina apartment. Yesterday was the 6-year anniversary of his murder. Give me 1 second. And in his case, there was a cover-up. See, cover-ups don't just happen in Norfolk County. They happen all over, because cover-ups aren't regional. It's about power. And when people have the power, sometimes it makes them corrupt and corruptible. I have 6 episodes that I filmed with Sarah back in 2021. And we spent the whole entire day together. And I found her on TikTok. I was scrolling through TikTok, and the first video I saw of her, I went to her page and I went to the beginning of her videos, and I watched every bit of video that day. And this was before they had like 10-minute videos. This is when it was only like 60-second videos, I believe, or 90-second videos. I can't remember which one it was. And I watched all her videos, and I reached out to her that day. From the second I saw his case, I was like, I need to talk to this woman. I need to interview her. Now, I had started my channel, doing interviews in 2020 after George Floyd, because I wanted to interview people about racism, but sit down and have a real conversation, not people talking at each other. So I talked to a bunch of different people, different walks of life, Black, mixed, Asian, white, an interracial couple. I talk Hispanic. I talked to a bunch of different people so people could hear different perspectives. But I always wanted to, I've always been into true crime, and I wanted to interview families, because I also wanted to show police corruption in a different way. So all of my interviews consisted of some form of police corruption that was harming that person's case from being solved. So Brandon owns a very special place in my heart. He changed my life. He changed the direction of what I was doing with things. A lot of you know that I'm disabled. I have a lot of health issues, and as I've spoken many times, I suffer from migraines. I get migraines multiple times a week, And I've been able to work in, I've been able with Sandra's case has made me realize there is stuff I can do, as a boots on the ground. I'll say boot on the ground because I can't be someplace. I mean, like, if I could have been places, if I could be everywhere, if I could be out in the world all the time, I would have been at Karen's stuff all the time. But because I physically can't, like, I went out on Friday and I'm still suffering from that. I'm still starting to feel better. It takes me a few days to recuperate just going out for a few days. So, or just going out for the day, we'll say. So, so tomorrow, my Monday night show, Maria, message me on Facebook and we could chat about it. We had such a good time hanging out Friday. Hello, how are you? How you doing tonight? Thank you. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. It's okay, Maria. Everybody says Missy. I'm used to it. I was actually almost named Missy, but my parents went with Mizzy. So tomorrow I will be doing a full episode on Brandon's case. What my plan to do is to watch my old interviews with Sarah and do some commentating over it. But I do have to warn you guys, if you guys can't look at blood, you might not want to watch. Because Sarah wants the world to see what was done to her son, and she wants the world to see the crime scene. So she herself has put all this stuff out. There is no photo, no inch of the episode that crime scene or photos of Brandon's body, body parts. I won't say body, or actually, no, you see photos of him in his hospital bed that weren't posted without Sarah's permission. She wants the world to see what was done to her son, and for people to fully understand how ludicrous it is for the Asheboro, North Carolina police to say that Brandon did this to himself. There is no way this man did this to himself. Brandon's a Navy veteran, and I find it absolutely disgusting how the Asheboro Police Department treated this man. There is no need for it. And when you guys see how insane this case is, you will understand what I'm talking about. And you will be just as disgusted as I am. And you will be as angry as I am. And Brandon's case needs to get out there. So I'm going to be doing my Monday night show on that. That's why I'm here tonight. So I can go over, the announcements and updates for Sandra's case and, some other things so I can go through that tonight because I want Brandon's case to stand alone. Tomorrow, I'm not going to be talking about Sandra's case at all. It's going to be at 6:30 tomorrow night. So it's already posted on Facebook. So if you want to go in and click the reminder after you get out of here, you can go do that. But it's a case that really needs to be out there. And it's also something for people to understand that it's not just happening here in Massachusetts. This happens all over the country. There are some amazing police officers out there, caring police officers, but there are also some police officers who are fucking scumbags. And this police department are fucking scumbags. So please join me tomorrow night. It's such an important, it's so important to me. And so I'm going to do that tomorrow night. And over the next month and a half, actually, probably to the end of October, tomorrow I'm going to try to do 2 episodes. The first episode is 45 minutes. And then the second episode after that, they're like 35, 36 minutes. I'm going to try to do the first 2 episodes since there's 6 episodes. And then at the end of October, I'm going to bring Sarah on so I can re-interview her, and then you guys can ask her questions. So tomorrow, I'm not monetized, but tomorrow, because I'm not talking about Sarah at all, I will have a GoFundMe page for you guys, or a Cash App if you guys want to send donations to Sarah, because she needs help paying for her investigation, because she is the one investigating it. This mom is the one investigating her son's murder. And everybody should be outraged that this is what's going on. So that's what's going to happen tomorrow. Let me get quickly into Friday night, because I know, like I said, Turtle Boy's going live like right about now. And I know some people want to go watch him to hear about his Friday night. But so I went to, some of you know, because you're in the chat and we were together. I went to Turtle Boy's show on Friday. I had been going back, and I wanted to go no matter what, but I had been going back and forth on whether I was going to go, just because I don't drive, and getting back up here is hard for me because there's no late transportation back up to New Hampshire. And why won't this let me click out? Anyway, oh well. But I worked it out with Annie, and I stayed at her house. So I lucked out because I bought my ticket perfectly timed, because they released a bunch of new tickets the day I bought my ticket, and they were in the mezzanine front row section and in the middle section, and they were like some of the best seats in the house. So I was like, it's like perfect timing. So I got my ticket. Me and my friends were all split up, but that's okay. I don't mind sitting by myself. I'm not the type of person who can't go like to the movies or to a concert by themselves. I've always been, independent like that. So we met up. We went out to dinner at I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it was yummy Italian food. I think it's Mangiano's. It's right across from the Park Plaza Hotel. I recommend it. Really good. And it's in walking distance from the Wilbur. Saw a bunch of people. Got to hang out with Boston Brandy. Hung out with Maria. The show was funny. We had a lot of good laughs. It was a good time. And it was kind of like the celebration that all us, FKR people had been like missing when Karen got freed. So it was kind of like almost like that too. And it was just a good night. It's good night, good time, good laughs. Mark Betterow was hilarious. Aiden and Jimmy were funny. Nurse Kim was funny. But to me, I think the breakout star was Emily C's. She was like hilarious. Betterow was funnier than most people would have thought Betterow would be, but like Emily C's killed it. I mean, she just like killed it. She was like the cherry on top for the night. So then after, yeah, I agree. We needed that energy. We needed a big party, and that's what it felt like. And it was so good to see people. I got so much love. Actually, Brandy, I stole one of your pictures because you and Jason were some of the only people I'm friends with that I could find pictures with me. So I only have 2 pictures. I had a couple others, but I'm not going to share those ones. So Brandy, I stole your picture. So then after a large amount of us went to the Encore Casino for kind of like an after party, and we all hung out by the bar. And it was just a good time. You know, people had drinks and got to meet people. And actually, before that, I had at the show and like outside, I had so many people come up and give me so much love. And I appreciate everyone who came up and gave me love. You know, the support was so amazing. And if anybody was there and you took photos with me, please message them to me. I would love to have them. But we had an awesome time. And then, like I said, we went over to the Encore. We all just hung out and had some drinks, and it was a good night. And I got to talk to Mark Betterow. And I have some things that I can't share, but he has agreed to come on this show. It won't be for a little while because, one, I need to get more mods, because when Mark Betterow comes to a show, a lot of people show up, and I don't want to put that only on Barb. So I'm going to have to like get some mods, at least for the night. And then, we learned some stuff. I can't get into it, but I have a funny Aiden story, because me and Turtle Boy, like we've met each other a couple times. We've been in each other's orbit more than a couple times. But we really don't know each other, but we kind of have this mutual respect just for, like, you know, what he did for Karen, what I've done for Sandra, just that, like, you know, we both took up for somebody that we didn't know. We both have that like tenacity and like no fear kind of thing, where we both have that little bit of in us, and we're both fighting the same people. So, you know, I went to the restroom and I was coming back, and he was kind of in the back, and there weren't too many people around him. So I wanted to go up and say hi, because it's hard to talk to people there, because like you'll be talking to somebody or you're waiting to talk to somebody, and like, you know, other people go up, and so it's kind of hard to talk to people. So he was kind of away from everybody. And I went up and I was like, hey, I just wanted to say congratulations. And I put my hand out to shake his hand, because like I said, we don't know each other that well. We've only met a few times, actually physically met a few times. And he like gives me this big hug. He's like, come here. And I was just laughing. And he's like, thank you for coming. And like, I was just like, oh, we're hugging. It was just funny. But it was a great night. And it was so good to get out. It was so good to see people and hang out with people. Let me show these photos really quick, because like I said, he's going live right now, and I'm sure there's a bunch of people who want to go over and watch what he's got going on, because I only have two photos to show. Me and Jason and Lauren, and me, Brandy, and Maria. So yeah, those are the two photos. Did I not show them? Did I not put them on screen? Oh my goodness. Let me put them back up. Yes. I'm looking at them. I'm like, yeah. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Oh my goodness. I'm a space cadet. Okay, let me bring them back up. Wow, dude. Come on. There we go. All right, let me bring them back up again, just in case I didn't put them on screen. Sorry, my brain is not there. Let me zoom. Me, Jason, and Lauren. And then Brandy and Maria. I have no idea where I'm looking in that photo. I got crazy eyes in that photo. That's okay. There we go. So it was a wonderful night. And, you know, there were so many people I got to meet, like Lauren, her and I have been chatting for a little while. And, you know, it was so nice to see people, and it was a good night, and, you know, drama free, and it was just nice to get out and hang out with people and see people away from like the whole madness of everything that's been going on. It was nice to be able to be out and just be in a fun environment, you know, and not be, you know, in the fight. It was more about having a good time and celebrating. So are there any questions? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Are there any questions that you guys have? Because I know, like I said, I know there's a bunch of people who probably want to go over and watch his show to find out what his thoughts are on. And I only wanted to do a really quick show and go through those things. So again, our standout is September 27th at 12 p.m. at Stoughton Center. He has, Matthew Farrell has 2 court dates, October 6th at 2 p.m. and October 16th at 9 a.m. And then tomorrow I will be hello. Of course, you know, this case is, you know, means everything to me. So I would just want to, you know, make sure I'm keeping her name out there. And like I said, I'm expanding it for you guys to see Brandon's case tomorrow. And please come back and watch that. And if you can't watch it tomorrow, please watch the replay, because it's very important for Brandon's case to get out there. And also for people to understand what is going on. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. What is going on in policing in other states? You know, it's not just Massachusetts. This was in North Carolina. And this case, Brandon Embry's case, means a lot to me. And like I said, yesterday was the 6-year anniversary of his brutal murder. So are there any questions? It was a lot of fun. It was. It was a lot of fun and like a lot of nice people. And, you know, some people I've met, and there's a lot of people that I hadn't met before. And, you know, like everybody was so loving and kind and, you know, coming up and saying hi. I took tons and tons of pictures. But it was a really nice night to get out and, you know, have a good time with friends and make more friends. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. I liked my shirt. I had just bought it a couple days before. And I'm like, I kind of want to go buy a couple other colors. And it was only like $13. I think there was only one other. I think the only other color was black, but it was so comfortable. And I'm like, maybe I'll buy another one. And it's not like I'm spending a ton of money. So, but anyway, so does anybody have any questions? And again, join me tomorrow at 6:30. I believe I already have the I already actually made the post for it. So you can go, when you click out of here, go over to that and set a reminder for tomorrow. It's a very important case. And Sarah Lee will be thankful for anybody who, you know, watches her case, her son's case, because it really needs to get out there. And, you know, if it wasn't for Sarah pushing me to you know, like make the Facebook page and even asking me about Sanders' case, because I knew about the case and I was looking into the case, but I wasn't like deep diving. I would have covered her case, but I wouldn't have built what me and Barb have built. So I'm still thankful to Sarah for all of that. So, and also the people who are part of FKR, it'll be interesting for you guys to see what an injury that is similar to John O'Keefe's, the back of the head, how much blood there should have been at the scene. That's all I'm going to say. You'll see it tomorrow. Again, there are some very, very disturbing photos. And if you're squeamish with blood, you're not going to want to watch it. But please come back tomorrow and join me. So I am going to end this because I'm going to go downstairs and eat some pizza and watch some TV. So you guys have a wonderful night. Make sure after you head out of here, you go hit notification for tomorrow and you hit like for this. And I'd appreciate that so much. So you guys all have a wonderful evening. And hey guys, to the replay crew, I am Mizzy and I'm a nice girl. What? I don't even know my name. I am Mizzy and I'm a mixed girl in a mixed up world. Have a good night, guys.